Okay, so it's more and more likely that Stargate is going to be getting a cinematic movie from Amazon and MGM. And a lot of gators are not massively happy about it. We want a series. But actually, does Stargate deserve a cinematic release? Should actually we be really proud that this is what Amazon thinks? Welcome to SciTrek, your sci-fi TV and movie channel. One of the first things I thought about when I started hearing the rumours 7 or 8 months ago now that Stargate might actually be getting a cinematic movie was that Star Trek doesn't have a cinematic movie. They're making movies, but they can only make them to go straight to streaming. They can't get a movie to go to the cinema because Star Trek's not popular enough for that. So, that was maybe me being a little childish, but still, it's a point. But if Amazon is thinking about a cinematic release, and we don't know for certain, I have to keep reiterating this, that is just what seems to be the plan at the moment. I actually am not 100% certain the final plan will be made until production is well underway. But if that is what they end up doing, and it does end up going to cinema, then, why is that a good idea? Well, for one, let's remember that the original Stargate movie is still MGM's 10th highest grossing movie of all time. So that is not a bad place to start from. Let's then remember that Stargate SG-1 ran for 10 seasons, which at the time was a record for a sci-fi show. Let's then also remember that Stargate Atlantis was incredibly popular. Let's remember, actually, that Stargate Universe's numbers were never bad, even though the fans were a little divided on it at times. Some fans think SG is the greatest of all three. Stargate today is actually still the third most highly searched thing on Google on sci-fi shows, only behind Star Wars and Star Trek. In the last 2 years, Stargate, SG-1 or Stargate, has regularly ended up trending on Twitter, particularly after the sale of MGM to Amazon went through and people started to realise they're actually going to be getting this show back. I'm walking the dog. I'm in North Wales again. If you actually look at Facebook traffic as well, Stargate is again one of the most popular shows on there. It gets loads and loads of traffic, loads and loads of groups, and all of those groups have really good numbers on them. So my point here, Stargate, and you should know this if you're watching this video, to be honest, it's quite popular still. All of these things, it trended on Twitter, it being the third highest search thing on Google. Remembering that Star Trek and Star Wars are actually still on our screens. Stargate hasn't been for over a decade. So really, that just shows how popular this is and how much and how desperate people are for it to return. Stargate is one of those shows that doesn't age. We can still watch it now on Freevee or wherever it is that you can get it, or the DVDs or whatever, and it's still just as good as it was when we first watched it. It hasn't dated at all, even though, remember, an SG-1 is nearly 30 years old now when it first came out. So these are the reasons why Amazon look at it and go, cinema, massive franchise, we could actually, the sky is actually the limit for this show. And as Gators, why aren't we more proud of that? As Gators, why aren't we going, Amazon think this is a big deal. Why don't we? Why do we just want a TV series for it when actually it can do maybe more than Star Trek? Because it could actually get bums in seats at cinemas. Star Trek can't. The confidence that Amazon seems to be showing in Stargate, that's something we should be excited about. The confidence that they're showing seems to be actually more confidence than we've got. Even I said when it was first, talked about that they were going to do the cinema first. Well, I said that's a massive risk. What if it fails at the cinema? What if it bombs? Would a TV show then even happen? And I will be honest with you, I want a TV show more than I want a movie. I want 10 hours. I want 20 hours of a season. I don't really want a 2-hour movie, unless that is the start of something much, much bigger. But I am excited about it going back to the cinema. I am excited that Amazon seems to have the confidence in it to start there. And I actually think that is something us Gators should be quite proud of. This is a franchise that would have never ended if it wasn't for MGM's financial troubles. I honestly believe that. I honestly believe that we wouldn't have got those DVD movies that we were hoping for. We wouldn't have got the SG-1 third movie. We wouldn't have got the Atlantis movie that was planned because DVD sales dropped out. But I think SGA would have continued for at least another 2 seasons. It would have got 7 seasons. SGU would have probably ended up getting 7 seasons because the numbers were improving, the confidence in the show was improving. So we'd have got that. Stargate universe probably would have ended, what would that be now, like 8 years ago, something like that? And we'd have probably just got another series of something new that would have maybe just had its 7th season. I think we would have then got at least a couple of streaming movies because, you know, it would have been big enough by then and MGM could have cracked a deal with somebody like Netflix to do something like that. Who knows? We could have even got another cinematic movie. I honestly think Stargate Universe was improving and would have got legs, would have carried on 7, 8 seasons maybe. I actually think then people like Brad Wright, Robert Cooper would have come up with something new and we'd have carried on. I actually think then the resurgence of things like Star Trek a few years ago could have meant that maybe us returning to the cinema with Stargate was possible. And I actually think that, you know, actually in the last 10 years, sci-fi's been massively popular and we would have seen a resurgence of Stargate popularity with it. But that didn't happen only because of MGM's financial problems, not because the show wasn't good enough. Stargate has such a vast universe to explore and so many different avenues, like the possibility of prequels that actually make sense when you look at like the ancients, that I just think this is a show that has legs, and Amazon seem to agree with us. So for me, the fact that Amazon are going for a cinematic release, that's something to be excited about. That's something actually though as well to be quite proud of. Yes, I have my concerns, but if that is the way they end up going, it's pretty cool. But I'd love to know what you guys think. Have I convinced any of you with this little bit of a rant? Or am I just completely wrong? No, we want a series, screw the cinema. There is an argument to say a cinematic release and the setting up a franchise like this is a little bit old-fashioned, and maybe Amazon are forgetting that in their bid to become a big cinematic and theatrical studio rather than just a streaming service. I'd love to know exactly what you think. Get in the comments. If you are new to the channel, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. It really helps us out and you don't miss any of our new videos. Also, you can go to patreon.com/SciTrek, where most of our new videos appear first. And you get to see them without the adverts for a small contribution each month that really supports the channel. You even get a free gift. And you go to SciTrek.co.uk, our dedicated website where we put articles based on most of our new videos and we try to add a little bit more information for you to digest. Please go check it out, and as always, please stay safe, enjoy nature, and I'll see you next time.